Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Friday, November 6th. We begin with news that the Barbados Alliance to End Homelessness is offering to come to the rescue of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, grappling with limited bed space, partly due to a number of abandoned elderly folk at the facility. Kimar Safri says he is willing to house those 30 persons to allow the island's lone hospital to be able to resume services hampered by the current problem. Earlier this week, the BAEH cautioned the public to not only expect delays in the accident and emergency department, but it rescheduled elective surgeries. Safri says the Alliance's Sprice Street shelter is well equipped to take in the patients,
which we have already sent forth a proposal seeking to take those 33 persons or whatever number they are, I think it's between 30 and 33, and house them here at the shelter. And the reason for that is because, as I said, they're quote-unquote homeless. If you put somebody in prison and when they come out of prison, they have no fixed place of abode, they're homeless. If they're at psychiatric and they have no fixed place of abode, they're homeless. So wherever they are, on the streets or not, institutions or not, they are considered homeless. And we are willing here at the organization, we have a 90-bed facility, and we're willing to help those persons.
Safri added that his facility will offer the elderly more than just housing.
We can take them, put them here, and then transition them by getting them back with their family, providing the counseling, providing the same meals, and helping them. We will obviously bring on care of the elderly persons that care for the elderly, I would say. With the expertise, we will bring them on and let them care for the elderly and be able to help transition them back. We also found that it's funny as well that a number of the homeless or a number of the elderly inside of the hospital, what we found is that there are some families that are actually taking their pensions and leaving them at the hospital or leaving them on the streets and taking their pension but not doing anything to help that particular person. We've also found that people are neglecting them in every sense of the way. They own land, they own a number of things, but they're not getting the care. And we would obviously assist them in legal service.
In other news, the city of Bridgetown came under the microscope today as the Barbados Town Planning Society held an online discussion on the state and future of the capital. Innovation design consultant Georgina Calendar called for an urgent revitalization of Bridgetown into a pedestrian city with green spaces, living quarters, and entertainment options. She says the time has come for Barbadians to embrace the idea of Bridgetown as a place to live, work, and play.
Bridgetown, we need to view it as a work of art. Bridgetown, this is a place free from dangers, from toxins. We're creating a safe, comfortable, and place with efficient transport systems. Our new Bridgetown seeks to boost national morale, create living and playing areas to attract life back to the city, transform the city into a year-round creative art space, improve public health through improved air quality, exercise, cleanliness, more green spaces, and finally, actively promote Bridgetown's status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And also with the deteriorating social connections due to COVID-19 and working from home and the desynchronization of our society as a whole, we need to look to spark new connections through shared joy and communal spaces. And Bridgetown has the potential to become this communal space.
Jeffrey Ramsey, architect and cultural heritage specialist, said while there's work ongoing to the revitalized areas of Bridgetown, he believes that there are some spaces that need attention, including the Dry Dock, the Cheapside, Marshall Hall, and the Old Public Library. Acknowledging that the redevelopment of the Greater Bridgetown area would require a lot of funding, Ramsey suggested that a trust or charity should be used to raise the funding.
One must have a charity or trust where donor funds can be received, because it has been indicated more than once that donors will not give money to government directly. So for anyone here or offshore who has a similar project, it is imperative that a trust or charity be set up, and there's one here quite active in this case. There are numerous plans, as another participant or panelist mentioned, several plans for Bridgetown rehab. And I think we've now gotten to the stage where we have to implement. We have to find funds and we have to implement. there is no more need for specific studies, be it near Pelican Village or near the Treasury Building. I think we've passed that stage.
Residents of Harmony Hall, St. Lawrence Christchurch will soon have a recreational space to call their own. Today, Minister of the Environment and National Beautification Adrian Ford said a 1-acre lot is to be cleared and fruit and shaded trees will be planted to beautify the area. It forms part of an overall national clean and green project which was designed by his ministry to facilitate island-wide tree planting.
Harmony Hall has a panoramic view of the south. It is a rustic area. It's a beautiful area. It's a natural, biodiverse ecosystem. What better way to treat to this environment than to beautify it, than to allow it to be transformed, where we put benches, where we put trees and plants, and allow this space to be a natural, beautiful space. I said it many times and I will say it again. There is an iconic song by the Merrymen called Beautiful, Beautiful Barbados. I'm not a singer, but the essence of this song is to make Barbados beautiful and clean. Along with that, from the international perspective, we have made a commitment, and I certainly, me as the president of the forum which speaks to the Latin America and the Caribbean, to produce and to lead the charge as it relates to a national green economic recovery. We have to now, post-COVID, to send the message to the international community that we are working hand in glove to be able to reduce our carbon dioxide footprint and our greenhouse gases.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news, Grenada is yet to decide on the decriminalization of marijuana, but Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell says police should not hound marijuana users. More in this report from GBN Television.
Prime Minister Mitchell said that while the use of marijuana remains illegal in Grenada, he has repeated his advice to the Royal Grenada Police Force to not waste time going after people for smoking a small spliff.
I don't see us wasting our time going and trying to arrest a young man for a joint of marijuana. That's a waste of police time. That is not to say we must encourage them. I'm not talking about encourage now, because let's face it, smoking is still dangerous for the human body. If you misuse cigarette, you know what it means. Cigarette is dangerous, but it's not illegal. So similarly, marijuana might be dangerous to some extent, but we should not have it. We have to move to decriminalize certain aspects of the use of marijuana. Alcohol, most of us take a drink of alcohol. It's not illegal, but if you abuse it, it can destroy you. So we all have to be very careful in going forward how we implement this. The message I'm sending is our position on this is changing dramatically, and we have to come to terms with that particular issue.
On the international scene, Democrat Joe Biden edged closer to winning the White House on Friday, expanding his narrow lead over President Donald Trump in the battleground states of Pennsylvania and Georgia, even as the Republicans sought to raise $60 million to fund lawsuits challenging the results.
In Pennsylvania, Philadelphia's Democratic mayor said the president needed to accept what appeared to be a likely Biden victory.
You know, I think what the president needs to do is, frankly, put his big boy pants on. He needs to acknowledge the fact that he lost, and he needs to congratulate the winner, just as Jimmy Carter did, just as George H.W. Bush did, and frankly, just as Al Gore did. And stop this and let us move forward as a country. And that's my feeling. I doubt he'll listen to me, but that's it.
Trump showed little sign he would do any such thing, making clear on Friday he would continue to press his unsubstantiated claims of election fraud. In a statement released by his campaign Friday morning, Trump said, quote, "This election is not over," and alleged without evidence that, quote, "there were many irregularities in Pennsylvania and that ballots were cast improperly in Georgia and Nevada." Election officials across the country have said they are unaware of any significant irregularities. Still, a Pennsylvania court on Friday ordered election officials to set aside provisional ballots cast on Election Day by voters whose absentee or mail-in ballots were received on time, after a group of Republicans brought a lawsuit challenging what they believed to be faulty ballots. Winning Pennsylvania's 20 electoral votes would put Biden over the 270 he needs to secure the presidency. The former VP would also win the election if he takes 2 of the 3 other key states where he held narrow leads, Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia.
There will be a recount.
Earlier on Friday, Georgia's Secretary of State forecasted a recount in his state.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.